Finance leaders of the G20 countries have gathered virtually to discuss global economic concerns. The meeting comes as the countries face economic issues from the pandemic and problems with rising inflation. South Korea's finance chief was also there and called on countries to consider industrial factors when implementing the new digital tax. Our Eum Ji-young reports.
Finance leaders from the group of 20 major economies have agreed to work together to combat soaring inflation and navigate recoveries from the pandemic. The two-day virtual meeting started on Thursday in Jakarta with finance ministers and top central bankers from the group of 20 industrial nations.
Inflation risks remain skewed to the upside, driven by supply chain disruption, labor market mismatches, wage pressure, and higher energy prices. These measures have been more persistent than previously expected.
The leaders called for a cautious and well-coordinated approach. They agreed to support low- and middle-income countries fight the pandemic and accelerate vaccine deployment to reach a global vaccination rate of 70% by mid-2022. At the meeting, South Korea's Finance Minister Hong Nam-gi said there's a need to develop a financial inclusion framework for the most financially vulnerable as the pandemic has widened inequality. Also, he called for countries to consider industrial factors when implementing the new digital tax known as Pillar 1. Last year, world leaders at the G20 summit formally endorsed an income tax on corporations in the countries where they make money to discourage them from establishing their headquarters in low-tax jurisdictions. With the plan to have the rules in force in 2023, Samsung Electronics could potentially fall in the category of Pillar 1. The South Korean government plans to propose relevant follow-up measures considering national interests in the summits of G20 leaders later in the year. Eum Ji-young, Arirang News.